Right, gonna get right into it today. Got a 2013 GMC Sierra. It's the same thing as a Chevy Silverado, Tahoe, Yukon, anything with the 5.3 in it. Mr. John Cobb stopped by. He had a small coolant leak. We found it. It is on the water pump. So this video will be showing you how to change a water pump on a 5.3. I think it's like 07 to 2014 if I remember correctly, but I'll have it in the title. Also, I will have parts in the description, and I'll put a link up here for a water pump if you want to order it from Amazon. They give us kickback, so that kind of helps us out. But we're going to go ahead and get going. So the water pump is right down yonder on that big old pulley right there. So the first thing we're going to do is pull off this breather and this cover to give ourselves access. I've already removed the lower coolant hose to drain the coolant while I was up in the air, but I'll show it to you. That one's super easy. But to get things started, we are going to loosen this band clamp here. This engine cover just pops up off of tabs, and then you can work it out the front. This one likes to hang up for whatever reason on this piece of plastic, so I'm going to pull it out as one unit. If you have the same trouble, just go ahead and remove it together. So we're going to undo this band clamp here and this band clamp here. I'll pop this loose on the front, which will buy me space to pull my cover off, and then I'll get this fished off, and we'll take this whole unit out as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and then we'll pick up from there. Okay, here we are. One thing I forgot to mention is this little peg right here that I didn't see. This goes into the intake hose, so it just pushes in, so you just literally grab it with your fingers and pull it straight out. Now for the water pump. So I have this lower coolant hose off here. I've already removed that, so I have these two heater hoses on the sides and this upper coolant hose here that also need to come off. So I'm going to grab, I have this with these little 8mm band clamps. Yours are probably going to be squeeze clamps. This has been replaced before, which is why it has these style clamps on it. But pretty much you'll grab it with pliers, squeeze the clamps, get them off the hose, and then I'm going to show you a fancy little tool here in a second if your hose is stuck to get that off easier. Okay, so this little 90-degree pick tool here is called a radiator hose removal tool. I'll have a link of one of these in the description. You probably already have one in your shop though. So I've moved this hose just a smidgen already by yanking on it. But if you have any hose that's stuck onto its surface, you can take one of these, you just stick it directly under like this, and then ream it in a circle around the hose, and it will break it loose. And then it makes it super easy to just wiggle right off. See, that one was stuck at the end there. But there you have it. So here's the upper hose. We're gonna move this out of the way, just kind of set it up there. I need to get these two lower heater hoses off. So I'll undo these two band clamps here, and I'll get these removed. And then we will move over and pull the serpentine belt off, and then we're ready to just unbolt this pump and get it off the truck. Okay, I got all my hoses free. See, I just kind of set them up here on the top of it for now. So next step is we need to remove this serpentine belt. The lower belt that stretches across the bottom is your AC belt. That's like a stretch-on fit belt. Do not, you have to cut that off to get off anyway, but don't try and take that off. You don't need to. So here is the tensioner. It's a 15mm. Keep your ratchet on tighten if you've never done this before. This is one of the most simple belts ever. Now, as I have it down, I'll just grab it and flip it off over here with my ratchet hand. Boom. We are off. So now, let this relax, and now we will pull that belt on out of there. Okay, all of the removal, I'm pretty sure he just farted. All of the removal is done. We're down to the water pump itself. So the water pump has 6 bolts. You have 2 you can see nice and easy on each side. So you got this one on this passenger side and that one below it. And then in this little crevice back down here is a 3rd one. So same exact pattern on the driver's side. You have one in here underneath this bracket, one over there, and then one in this little divot down at the bottom. They are 10mm bolts, so you just zip those 3 out, and this whole puppy should come right off of the engine block, and it is going to drop coolant no matter how well you drained it, unless you vacuumed it. So make sure you have something underneath the truck to catch what little bit comes out of there. Okay, here we are. We're back from the parts store. I'm going to inject this in the video where it needs to go. I didn't catch when I pulled this, but until we were at the parts store, that this tensioner pulley actually mounts with 2 15mm up here on the pump. So you're going to want to make sure you take that off, and then obviously your thermostat housing, but yeah, that tensioner mounts right there, kind of like so. So take those 2 15s out and keep your tensioner. You're going to be real confused trying to put your belt back on. All right, and here we are. Water pump has been removed. So we're gonna go grab the new one as a replacement. So here's a couple things you need to know about putting it back together. So his gaskets are so new. This is a warranty job that I'm gonna reuse these because it's such a pain to clean this block. And these are absolutely fantastic. The pump was leaking from the pulley itself, but if you're doing this job just as a replacement, you're gonna wanna pull these off. You're gonna wanna use some Scotch-Brite or like a little pad, maybe even just a little sandpaper, and carefully get all of the gasket material off from the edge before you put your new one in place. These are RTV'd on, so there's some RTV on the back side of here holding this to the block so it can't slide. The bolts, when you put them back in, you're gonna do an initial tightening of 15 Newton meters on all 6 of them, then come back and tighten them all to 30 Newton meters, then you're good to go. You just do exactly what we did to take it apart, just in the opposite order to put it all back together. So hopefully this video helped you out. Hit the thumbs up if it did, and subscribe if you want to see some more.